Hello you guys, welcome back or welcome to the channel. This is going to be a little bit different today because normally I like to do some case studies, and I will be releasing some case studies later, but I'm expanding, and it makes sense, right? This is what this is in relation to. We're in this Sagittarius season, and Sagittarius is all about the expansion. Where are we going? How can we expand? If you think about it, it's a little bit of a reflection, right? Because we're kind of expanding where we're going. But I would say with that, well, this makes sense, right? Scorpio comes before Sagittarius, right? So it makes sense with the Scorpio that you are looking around, seeing what needs to die off, right? That's why the death card is representative of Scorpio in the tarot. But the next thing after that death is gone is now we're expanding. We had to let go of the things that were no longer serving us in order to allow this new expansive version of ourselves. So because the sun, and that is the strongest energy, or the most, it's the one that's most on the surface, right? Like it's really hard to not see the sun. Even if it's clouded with I want to say that it is, oh my goodness. I'm trying to say that even though the sun may be, you may not be able to say it because of the clouds. Geez, blocked by the clouds. I could not think of the word block. That's crazy. Anyhow, just because the sun may be blocked by the clouds, it is still inevitable that you know the difference between night and day because of the sun, right? So it's the thing that we are the most aware of as far as energies go. So with that being said, I wanted to go over how this affects each individual depending on where their placement is. So I'm going to go over how this season, the Sagittarius season, could be affecting you depending on your houses. So I have my little notes here, and here's the thing. You need to know your birth time in order to see all the placements, to see where your houses are located. But there are so many free apps out there for you to put in your birth information in order to see what where your placements are. So go do that. But once you understand where your placement is, specifically what house Sagittarius falls in, you'll know which one fits you. Now, you don't have to do that. If you want to do that, I want to encourage you to, because this is what you can be doing anytime we switch zodiacs. Is like, okay, now how is this affecting me? Because what house is this in for me? Okay, that's where you can utilize this information and you become, the fisherman. I'm not just giving you a fish, I'm teaching you how to do it yourself. So, without any further ado, let's get into Sagittarius if it's located in your first house, okay, where you're feeling this expansion. So in the first house, you're feeling the expansion within your own identity. This is literally the I am, it's what you've embodied. So if you have this in the first house, you've had some major upgrades lately. What I mean by that is, like, it's the thing where you just wake up one day and things are just different. You are less reactive. Things that affected you, which is less reactive, but it's like those things that affected you don't really affect you anymore. It's also, I've experienced it with like patterns that I would normally have, like they just released one day. Like I woke up and I'm like, I don't have a desire for that anymore. So this is where you may be experiencing this within Sagittarius, because this is heavily in the I am personality, and with you expanding that and that embodiment, this is where you're going to feel that so strongly. If you have Sagittarius in your second house, this is worth and resources. When I say worth, it's what you feel you are worthy of, and that combines with your resources. Okay. So if you have the Sagittarius in your second house, then what is being illuminated right now, or where you're feeling this expansion, is actually in your resources, which is pretty awesome. So this may be a time for you where you're actually experiencing an influx in resources. You may be receiving more money, or you may be, because this is Sagittarius, right? We just came off a Scorpio. So if you have Sagittarius in your second house, this is, you have left those where you don't want to put your resources anymore, and now this is where you're ending up, right? You've already put them here, and now you're going to start seeing the like physical manifestation of what you are doing or what you're implementing. Okay, if you have Sagittarius in your third house, hello, me too. And how funny is it that this is what's happening with me? And this is the energy of Sagittarius in the third house, which is the third house is about that mind and communication and learning. And as you can see, learning new systems in order to incorporate it into my channel, my readings, and just this space in general, right? So same thing for you in this case is you're learning how to communicate. It's being revealed to you the way that you want to communicate and move forward. Again, this is coming off of knowing how you don't want to do it, right? And I can say for me, I was getting very stagnated in the way that I was doing my case studies. In fact, I didn't call them case studies. I think I just had titles, or maybe referred to them as readings, right? So it was, I had to see what was ended, and now that communication is opening up. There's illumination here. There's illumination on what we're learning, and what you want to learn, like a direction to head, right? Sagittarius is a lot about direction too. So this is, you're seeing the direction that you want to communicate. You're seeing the direction that you want to learn. So that's for Sagittarius in the third house. If you have Sagittarius in the fourth house, this is your roots and your emotional foundation. So home, family, safety, inner world. This can feel, I feel like this can feel a little bit rocky possibly for you. The reason I say this is because you are, well, I think Scorpio, actually, that would have been harder. So you would have been actually coming off of kind of the insecurity, right? Because you just went through this very, very intimate phase of losing something, ending stuff. And because this is so close to you, this is what you are most familiar with. Like this is the place that we come back home to day in and day out. So this has been expanded for you. So I would say actually you may have been coming off of a rough kind of transition, but this is going to expand you. You're going to actually be able to expand now, or you're going to experience this throughout Sagittarius season, is now you're expanding your capacity, your comfort zone. I feel like that's that. It's so funny with the energy, like when I'm done with something, it just stops. It's like, yep, and we're done with that. Moving on. Okay, to the fifth house. This is self-expression. This is kind of the thing that you're doing just joy for joy's sake. So again, coming off of, that means you had to, you've just come off of letting go of things that don't bring you joy, that maybe have blocked your creativity. And so this is now, it's been illuminated, or where we're going, the direction now is more joy, more creativity, more self-expression. This is being really highlighted for you in this moment. All right, let's get into, if you have Sagittarius in your sixth house, and we have daily systems. I love this. I really love this. This tells me for the people who have Sagittarius in the sixth house, you're experiencing this very expansive routine. it's like you have this you have this clarity on how you want your day to be set up. These are habits, these are routines. It's even how you are servicing people. That's such a weird way to say it. How you're like taking care of people. What service you're performing. So this is going to be eliminated. That is very interesting. I was going to say illuminated. Eliminated would have been what you have kind of come off of, right? It tells me that that this was previously that the sun, well, we know the sun was previously in the fifth, pardon me. The sun was previously in Scorpio. And so what that illuminated for you was what you needed to do for your health routine. And now I feel like it's expanded for you. The 7th house is Sagittarius. This is about relationships, contracts, and mirrors, meaning it's like you're seeing yourself in the other person, right? So this is going to be expanded for you. You're going to see a lot more information on relationships and where you want them to go. And I feel like even with the contracts too, this is going to be a time where you might be expanding your network. You may be expanding the amount of people that you have contracts with. And again, all of this is coming off of this revelation that you just went through. Okay, the 8th house, we have that depth and transformation. So this is intimacy, shared energy, trauma, rebirth. The 8th house is how do I want to, all I could feel like is Scorpio energy coming from it with the depth and the transformation. Hold on a second. I want to get some clarity. Okay. Oh, that's funny. I thought it paused. I don't know what just happened. Okay, anyhow and anyway. What I was looking at was actually this card to kind of get the feel of what the 8th house is. So when you look at this, it's really funny too, because I can't remember the name of the snake, but it's when you have the snake that's eating its own tail, it's just a cycle that there's a never ending like healing and rebirth. And so the 8th house talks about what needs to transform. So this is pretty heavy. What I would say for you then is if you are if your house is in Scorpio, if you're, I'm sorry, that's not what I want to say. If your Sagittarius is passing through the 8th house, that is going to feel, this might be a rough time for you. I'm sorry, I'm having like trouble saying it. It's because I understand that like there's going to be a lot illuminated for you on what needs to end. Maybe even some traumas that you've been reliving. So the sun is shining its light on this house for you, which it can be just really rough. That's all I have to say, because you're seeing things. So pay attention to that. Like, you know, if I'm saying all these things and you're wondering why all of this stuff is coming up for you, you know why. And now you can actually utilize the energy to be like, oh, that's why I'm wanting to change this, because the energy is showing me what is being revealed, right? And the revelation here is this doesn't feel right anymore. I need to either heal it with, if it's some sort of trauma that's being illuminated, with, you know, even the if there's relationships that need to end too, if that type of stuff comes up for you, this is just going to be a really potent time for you to see things that need to end in order for you to transform. All right, then we move to Sagittarius in the 9th house, which is the wisdom and expanding. Now, this is like the epitome, right? Because Sagittarius, that is the energy of Sagittarius, is that wisdom and that expansion. So if you have, well, that would also mean, you know, this is your birthday, so happy birthday. For you, this is a time that's always going to, because you will always have, you know, the sun in the 9th house at this time of the year, right? Because it's your birthday. So anyhow, this is a time where your beliefs, the spirituality, things, what holds very deep meaning for you is going to be revealed in this month, or in this Sagittarius season. And there could even be traveling going on within this particular season for you, Sagittarius season. Okay. If you have a Sagittarius in your 10th house, the 10th house is about purpose and contribution. So this means that you're going to see that expansion and this revelation on where you want your career to go, what you want your public identity to be. This is really going to be illuminated for you. And you're going to see, it's a revelation on what needs to expand, right? So it would be the revelation on where you're expanding in your career, your legacy, your public identity. Let's go. I want to back up because I'm being brought back to the 9th house to say the same thing that I said about this, is that you're being asked, or what's being revealed is, you know, the beliefs, your spirituality, and again, just where that wants to take place if you have the Sagittarius in the 9th house. Okay, we're going to move on to the 11th house. This is vision and community. So what you're going to see expanded, or what's going to be illuminated that you want to see expanded, is, I would say, your collective, right? Your contribution, your community, your network. This feels more like your tribe, right? This isn't like the one-on-one connection. This is a bigger group. So you're gonna, if you have Sagittarius in this house, you're gonna see where you want to go, and you're gonna feel like you're expanding that vision. If you have we're moving on to the 12th house. If you have Sagittarius in the 12th house, this is all about the unseen, the subconscious, intuition. So a lot is going to be revealed of what's going on underneath the surface of stuff. So, I would say it's there. You're going to also get some sort of you'll have a lot of clarity because your intuition is being expanded, right? Like this is the subconscious and unseen, which means you're expanding the way that you connect with that. And let's see what else. There's something else that I'm feeling the hesitation, as though there's something more that wants to get channeled through. It just hasn't made its way yet. So this is specific about the Sagittarius in the 12th house. Yeah, I feel like what I'm getting is like this growth. You're going to have a lot of growth in your intuition. Sagittarius, I guess, in short, is this energy of growth, right? Because expansion allows you to grow or develop. So I feel like there's going to be a definite growth in your intuition. And I would almost even say like surrendering into your intuition. All right, my friends, I hope that was helpful for you. And there you go.